Super, so in order for this bridge between Revit and Rhino to work, we first need to make sure that the software that we use for Revit and Rhino are up to date and are using the right format or version, if you will. So if I go to my browser here, the first thing you need to have obviously is to have Revit already installed. I'm not going to show you how to install it, but you can just go to Autodesk and download it if you want, even as a test version. Or if you are a student or someone in academia, you can just get it for free. Otherwise, you would need to buy it. Just note that I'm using the Revit 2020 version and it works perfectly. If you want to download the other version like 2019, that should also work very fine. I think 2017 you should have at least as the latest version. And then 2021 should also work with Revit.Inside. Now, this is the Revit setup. You download that and then you have it installed. The next thing that is very important is for Rhino that you need the Rhino 7 download. Beta version, work in progress, or you just upgrade to Rhino 7, which is now available, obviously. And this will only work if you have Rhino 7. So if you have currently just Rhino 6, you need to upgrade, or you download the free work in progress for, I think, 90 days. That will also allow you to then access Revit or Rhino.Inside. Yeah. So you just can go to downloads and just download Rhino 7, meaning you need basically a Rhino account. Without a Rhino account, you can't upgrade or test the Rhino 7 version. So having done so, you download that, you install it, you have Rhino 7 working, work in progress of the original. Then the next important thing is actually we just need to go to the Rhino 3D inside Revit. Now this whole inside bridge by McNeil is not only for Revit, but they're also looking into Unity and Blender, etc. So it's new kind of movement that I'm very excited about, which is interoperability between CAD systems and softwares. But nevertheless, if you would want to do it yourself, you just go here and you say Rhino.Inside Revit. You just type that in and the first site should be actually the one that we need from McNeil. Now they have a beautiful introduction video just explaining you overall how to download it, just go through the processes, etc. It's more or less in a nutshell exactly what we just had. So we need to make sure that our operating system is up to date and we have the correct version. If that is in place, then all good. You can also download Rhino 7 here. If you need so, you can see 90 days. Otherwise, just download this Rhino.Inside Revit beta. If you do so, you click on this, you might need to type in your email address, I think, exactly. So you just type in your email address. You don't even have to have an account. You type in your email address and then you basically get this MSI file, right? Now to download or install it, it's very simple. You basically close your Revit version and you also close your Rhino version if it's currently open or not. And you just simply go to that MSI file in your downloads and you just double click it and it will automatically install, as you can see here. So yeah, install, I already have that. You need to accept it, install it, and that's basically it. Now, once it's installed, you just open up Revit from in my case, Revit 2020. Just let it open up. All right, beautiful. And the next thing that we want to do now inside Revit, we just open up this basic default project setup, the sample project here. Just open that up. Beautiful. Inside here, we just want to navigate through a nice view so we can see it three-dimensionally. I would just go to 3D and go to From Yard. That's a nice way to see the model, I find. And then you can just, of course, navigate a bit around. I mean, you should know the drill a bit to navigate it, basically like so. And now the next thing I want to do is actually see if the MSI did install correctly. I do that by going to the plugins. Yeah. So in my case, in German, it's Zusatzmodule, but you just go to plugins or add-ins, and then you should see this Rhino icon there. If that is the case, beautiful. You can just press it. You can also just press R as a shortcut, as you can see. You just click it. So it's actually opening up Rhino 7 from inside Revit. That's why the name is Rhino.Inside, basically. Yeah, so it's opening up. So we just wait a second. All right, beautiful job. So now if it's opened, you should see now a whole slew of different icons that you can access. So if you just go quickly through it. So help just has useful information. For instance, sample files that come from McNeil, you can open that up to just get a better understanding of it. The next tab is very interesting, which is Rhino icon. And if you open it, this will actually launch then really Rhino. Yeah. So now we have Rhino 7 opened up in the memory space of Revit. That's a basic trick that we did here. Now, if you go back to Revit, you can see that there's also the function to import Rhino samples. You can preview something. You can also work with Python if you are a programmer or know that language. The next thing that is important for our case right now is that you can also launch Grasshopper, the algorithmic editor for Rhino inside Revit. So if you open that up, this will now trigger your Grasshopper. And Grasshopper, again, is similar to Dynamo for Revit, and it has some just tabs up here which are useful to navigate to algorithmic components that you can like build up geometry in a sense. For instance, surfaces, there's a whole tab for that. You can go to primitive, create a very basic shape, more or less, right? And these panels are again clustered as themes. And if you navigate to somewhere where you see an R, I have a lot of plugins that should not look the same for you. But if you go to Revit, you can see now this huge tab is basically the interface from Grasshopper to Revit, right? So that means that if you want to push geometry from Rhino Grasshopper to Revit and import it, this tab will help us a lot to actually achieve this goal, right? So this is something that we can now test. And the first thing that I just want to do is reference geometry into my Rhino scene from my Revit scene. Yeah.